Yo, what's good, basketball heads? It's your boy Crush. Let's talk about Scottie Pippen saying LeBron James is being disrespectful for calling himself the GOAT. Let's be real, man. You don't have to self proclaim and call yourself the GOAT. If you are as good as you say you are, you have a resume, right? Your game will speak for itself. After 20 seasons in the NBA, that'll speak for itself. If you are as great as you think you are, we'll know. You don't have to tell us. You don't have to self proclaim every chance you get. But here's the thing. LeBron James think he's smart. What he's doing is this. If I say I'm the GOAT long enough, a million times, eventually some of the gullible fans will start believing me. And that's what he's doing. I'm going to keep saying I'm the GOAT in public. I am very influential. And eventually, a few people is going to believe me. They're going to believe me. So that's what he's doing when he's constantly self-proclaiming he's the GOAT. He's greater than Jordan. He's greater than Kareem. He's greater than Magic, Bird. He's greater than everybody else. Even though we know that's not the case, no one had to do that. Jordan never had to tell you he's the GOAT. Magic, Kareem, Bird. No one had to tell you I'm the GOAT. They played the game at an elite level, left it all on the line, and at the end of the day, we, the fans, we decide. We decided who we thought the GOAT was. Of course, everybody have their own list of who they think is the best player. Some think it's Kareem. Some think it's Jordan. Some think it's Magic. Some think it's Kobe. Everybody has their own list. But none of the greats in the past had to tell us or self-proclaim that they're the GOAT. And I agree, that is very disrespectful. Very disrespectful. Like, you don't need to tell us this. But the reason why LeBron is doing this is because self-doubt. Deep inside his soul, he knows he's not the GOAT, or he's not on the top of the top. Yes, he's up there, but he knows he'll never be the GOAT. And that's the reason why he keeps on repeating, I'm the GOAT, every chance he gets. Whenever he get a chance to self-proclaim, he does it. And I got to agree with Scottie Pippen, man. Like, it's very disrespectful. Look at MJ. Most think MJ is the GOAT. Most fans think Michael Jordan is the GOAT. Unless you was born in maybe 2000 where all you know is LeBron, okay. But most NBA fans who was born before the 2Ks or earlier, they think MJ is the GOAT. But guess what? MJ never had to self-proclaim. He never had to convince us he's the GOAT. He never did. The man just played basketball, left it all on the line, and us, the fans, we decide. You know, he left it on the line, and it's us. It's there for us to decide who is the best player ever or who's the greatest. You don't have to tell us. You don't have to constantly tell us, trying to remind us, or you're trying to convince us or sway us to choose you as the GOAT. It don't work like that. At least for me, it doesn't. So him saying he's the GOAT won't change anything. It's not going to sway my decision, make me think differently. No. For me personally, Michael Jordan is the GOAT. And that'll never change. Once LeBron broke Kareem's record, you know, he brought out 2 GOATs. And he's doing all this extra stuff. And that's just going way too far. Way too far. And that is very disrespectful for all the players, the hundreds of players who came before him. No one has ever done that or behaved like that. He's the only one who behaved like this. Constant self-proclaiming, you know, doing all this extra stuff. If you are as great as you say you are, let your game speak for itself. Let your game speak for itself. You don't have to convince us. If you're that good, we'll decide. But he knows he's not. It's the insecurity. LeBron insecurities is killing him, and that's just a fact. His insecurities of knowing he will never be the GOAT is killing him, so he have to convince us. Let me try to convince all these fans, more so the younger generation who already follows him and they think he's a GOAT. They don't know any better. So let me convince them, and I'll keep repeating it, putting it in the air, and hopefully it'll stick. If you watch the game of basketball prior to LeBron, you know LeBron is not the GOAT. Sorry, he's not. He's a great player, yes, one of the great players. Yes, he is, but is he the GOAT? No. Most people have MJ ahead of him, Kareem, Magic Johnson, Kobe. A lot of people have other players ahead of him, and he noticed. So he has to beat it in our heads or try to sway us or convince us that he's that guy. And he's not that guy. If you want to say for this generation, then okay, cool, fine. But if we're saying overall, who's the greatest player you have ever seen, it's not LeBron. It's not LeBron. We have seen better. Sadly, we have seen better. And he knows this. So his insecurities is why he do these things or why he behave this way. Where he have to convince us every chance he get, every milestone, he got to say he's a GOAT. Whenever LeBron does something, hit another milestone in his career, he starts saying he's the GOAT. Every time he hit a milestone, he's going to say, I'm the GOAT. Let me reinforce this so others could, agree with me, or let me try to convince these younger folks who don't know any better. Jordan never had to do that. Bill Russell never did that. Kareem never did that. Kobe never did that. Magic never did that. Bird never did that. Tim Duncan never did that. Like, none of the greats had to do this. They were humble, humility. They didn't have to do all this extra stuff. They just went out, put on a show every night, gave you the best entertainment they could give you, and in the end, you decide. You made a decision. Everybody have their own GOATs. Some people agree to Jordan. Some think it's Kareem. Some think it's Kobe. Everybody has their own list of their own top fives or top tens or whatever. But self-proclaiming, come on, man. Like, I don't need you to convince me you're the GOAT. Let me decide. I don't need you to tell me or try to convince me or reinforce in my mind. I don't need that. I could think for myself. Let me decide after watching you play, seeing Kobe, MJ, and others. Let me decide who I want to say is the GOAT. You don't need to convince me or tell me you're the GOAT. And that's very disrespectful. But this is what LeBron does. This is what he do. And walk around with GOATs and, just a whole bunch of nonsense. It's all smoke and mirrors, basically, because he knows deep inside his insecurities, he doesn't have the resume to be the GOAT. He's a great player, a very great player, but he doesn't have the resume to be the GOAT, and he knows this. So he runs around, he keeps repeating the same thing, trying to convince us, but he can't convince me because I've seen different players. I know what's up. But if you've never seen anyone and all you know is LeBron, then yes, you're going to think, oh yeah, he's the greatest I've ever seen because that's all you know. Understandable. So this is what Scottie Pippen had to say. If you are the greatest player, Pippen said, if people are saying you are the greatest player, or if people are saying Michael Jordan is the greatest player, why do you need to say it? Michael Jordan have never ever said he's the greatest player to ever play the game. Why? He has respected all the others before him. So for LeBron to say that he's sort of pulling himself out of it because you can't say you are the greatest player, you have to allow your peers in the world to say that. And I do agree with Scottie Pippen. You have to allow your peers to say you're the GOAT. Let us decide. You can't decide for yourself. I don't care how you feel. You can't self-proclaim, I'm the GOAT because I said I'm the GOAT. That's delusional. No, let us decide. Let us look at your resume and we'll try to compare it with other players' resume and we'll decide who's the GOAT. But you trying to convince us and constantly repeat and tell us you're the GOAT, that doesn't move me. It doesn't mean nothing because I know you're not. There are players who have done better. So you could say you're the GOAT all you want and try to sway somebody to say, hey, but it doesn't move me. I've seen MJ play. I've seen Michael Jordan dribble the ball, play basketball, and he's a better player. I've seen Kobe, and to me, Kobe's a better player. So you could try to convince us, say you're the GOAT, beat your chest and do all this. That's fine. That might work on the younger generation, yes, but anyone who has seen basketball in its entirety or seen enough basketball, no, this is bogus. But this is what LeBron does. He's been doing this ever since Miami. Ever since his third championship in Cleveland, I'll say, he's been doing this. Once LeBron overcame Golden State, ever since then, he's been saying, I'm the GOAT. Even with a losing record, he's been saying, I'm the GOAT. Even before the bubble championship, He's been self-proclaiming, saying he's the GOAT, he's the greatest, which is ludicrous. Like, who believed that? He's the only one who believes that in his delusional mind. Of course, he's in the discussion. Yes, he's in the discussion. But let us decide. You don't need to tell us. Let us decide, LeBron. We could think for ourselves. You don't get to declare you're the GOAT. No, it's your peers who decide that. You're not the one who's going to determine where you sit on Mount Rushmore or in the top 10. You don't decide that. We decide that. Not you, LeBron. It's your peer who should anoint you. You don't anoint yourself. I'm the GOAT because I said I'm the GOAT. That's some nerve, man. But this is LeBron's thinking. Truthfully, I think it's insecurities. He know he's not. He know he's not. So I'm just going to self-proclaim, trying to convince others to think the same or to agree with me. I don't agree because I know I've seen better. I've seen better. So why would I agree? You see the difference? Michael Jordan didn't want to be called a GOAT. MJ didn't want anyone to call him the GOAT because respectfully, there's others that's great. Out of respect, just showing humility. He didn't want anyone to call him the GOAT because he knew there are other great players that came before me who paved the way, who I've watched on my journey. So respectfully, he didn't want anyone to say he's the GOAT. Humility. He's a humble, being humble about it. LeBron, nope. That's not the approach I'm going to take. I'm going to tell the world that I'm the GOAT because once I beat Golden State, I became the GOAT. Stop it. Stop it. But this is what LeBron do. LeBron's been doing this for a few years now. And if you're gullible enough, you'll believe him. But come on, man. Anyone with a brain who actually know basketball and paid attention, you know better. You know better. MJ didn't want to be called a GOAT because he felt it was disrespectful to the others, all the greats that came before him, who paved the way, all the greats that he looked up throughout the history of basketball, and I respect that. Let us decide. As you can see, most think Jordan is the GOAT. Not everybody, but a lot do. You don't have to tell us. We just decide for ourselves. And that's what LeBron needs to learn. Humility. Be humble. Always running around saying, I'm the GOAT, beating your chest. It means nothing. Anyone who thinks LeBron can still surpass Michael Jordan is crazy. I'm sorry. Even if LeBron wins another ring, he still can't surpass Michael Jordan. If you compare the resume, it's a landslide. More MVPs, 9 more scoring titles, 3 steal awards, a Defensive Player of the Year award. MJ beat LeBron in so many metrics. Like seriously, so many metrics that it don't matter if LeBron wins another title. He still can't pass MJ. That race been over years ago. I'm sorry. For me personally, that race been over. It been over. And LeBron knows it. Deep down in his soul, in his psyche, he knows it's over. This is why he runs around self-proclaiming, being disrespectful, because this is all he have left. This is LeBron's last attempt at trying to convince people. So he's taking his last swing, his final swings, because he knows deep down inside the race is already over. He been lost that race, truthfully. Surpassing Kareem to become the all-time scorer, that was great. Hats off to LeBron for that. But that's a longevity award. That doesn't make him the GOAT. No. Yes, you could put that in the argument. Of course you can. Did that make him the GOAT once he passed Kareem? No. It's just another accolade to add to his resume in the debate. But to him, I passed Kareem, now I'm the GOAT. Listen, it's all smoke and mirrors, man. If you pay attention to what LeBron is doing, you can see what he's doing. But if you're gullible, you're not that bright, then he could trick you. But he can't trick anyone else who has a brain, who knows the game, been following the game, who's paying attention. Come on. But as always, man, I'll holla. As always, we just talking basketball. Hit the subscribe button, like, comment, share. Holla at your boy.
It's all about the game and how you play it. It's all about the game. I'ma say it. It's all about the game.